Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Nishant, and I'll be your host for the session today. So here's what we'll cover today. We'll do a quick set of introductions to both the presenter and the sponsor for today's webinar. And we'll move on to our topic for the day, Enterprise Agility with SwiftEnterprise by Manoj Cherian. The session is being recorded, and we will make the recording available. Right? So you can see the questions box, the chat box on your GoToWebinar panel, usually on the right side of your screen. Please enter your question at any point in time, and we'll take those at the end. A quick introduction to today's presenter. He's asked me to keep it brief, so Manoj Cherian will be presenting today. He's been with us for 17 years now, and he's currently the Vice President of Business Development. Mano will take you in today's session through a quick demo of how SwiftEnterprise can support enterprise agility. Yeah. So just here's a little bit about Digite. We've been a pioneer in web-based collaborative products for the better part of 2 decades now. We're headquartered in Cupertino, California, and we have over 1 million users right across the world. The products that we have, namely SwiftEnterprise, Swift Kanban, and SwiftEase, have been helping teams and enterprises with lean agile project management, value stream management, DevOps, program management, and a variety of things. So here is a quick look at some of our customers. We have teams of 5 to 10 members, right up to enterprises with 100,000 users using our tools. Right, so I won't take too much more of your time. I will switch this over to Mano. Mano, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Nishant, for that brief introduction. I just wanted to confirm you're able to hear me and see my slide.
Yes, I can see you and I can see your slide, Mano.
All right, good. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of you who have joined this session. And as Nishant mentioned, the objective of this session is to give you a very quick overview on how SwiftEnterprise platform can be used by organizations to improve agility and also scale it at an enterprise level. Now, some of the key aspects that the platform, the SwiftEnterprise platform, is very strong in is it is a highly configurable platform. It provides transparency to teams. It fosters collaboration between teams, and it has got a lot of AI-enabled capabilities that would provide powerful insights to teams as they are executing their projects. Now, we all know what enterprise agility is all about. It is the ability of an organization to be flexible and swiftly adapt to business demands, the changing business demands. So these demands could come from feedback of customers who are consuming your products or consuming your services. And it could also come from market, especially in a competitive environment. But the key aspect over here is in order to be able to swiftly adapt to these changes and conform to these changes, the teams, we need to have teams that are well connected, that are cohesive, that are working together, that do trust each other. And you also need to have the ability where you will be able to prioritize frequently the work that the teams are working on. And you should also have the ability to have a very simple, well-defined process in place so that all the stakeholders are able to see the work that is being progressing and the work that needs to be done and prioritize and pick up the high-value items in your overall project execution process. So these are some of the key aspects that are required to ensure that teams are able to be agile, and you're also able to scale this agility at an enterprise level so that it is not just the teams who are responding to changes, it is the organization who is having the ability to rapidly change, to respond to changes. Now, there are a lot of benefits that has been reported by organizations who have taken up the agile transformation route. And a lot of these benefits are recorded in a lot of case studies, in a lot of thought process papers and so on and so forth. So I've just listed a few of the common ones. So agility helps organizations to deliver value to customers. So you're more focusing on value that will help the customer rather than the regular task that needs to be completed. Agility has helped teams to work at a much faster pace and also deliver at a much continuous pace. So you're able to deliver at very frequent intervals where the customer is able to pick up your deliverables and ensure that value is attained by them, and they're also able to share it with their customers. And the agility has helped teams to be engaged, adaptive. Teams have been able to take a lot more ownership on the work that has been assigned to them. That has made work very exciting. That has made team members be excited, and it has also helped teams to be flexible and respond quickly to any issues or demands or requirements that are coming from the market. Agility has also helped create an environment where teams can experiment and need not worry about failure. Experiment, learn from that failure, create a high trust environment, and also as a result of that, improve the overall productivity, reduce the cost, and enhance the project delivery operations at a team level and at an organization level. So there are various such important benefits which customers, which teams and organizations have been able to achieve as a result of enterprise agility. Now, SwiftEnterprise is a flagship product of the Digitally organization. It is an enterprise class platform which has a lot of built-in capabilities that will help teams to adopt the core principles of agility, and then help teams to scale it at an enterprise level. Though the platform has a lot of capabilities, in today's demo we will not be covering all of them. This is a series of webinars. We will be conducting a series of webinars where each and every features will be picked up and explained. But what we are going to focus on today is product. We will be focusing on the product road mapping capability that is being provided in the system. We will focus on the way in which you will be able to visually plan, groom your backlog and prioritize your backlog. And we will also focus on how a collaborative work execution environment can be very easily set up in the SwiftEnterprise platform. Now, the reason why we are focusing on focusing a little bit on product road mapping is it is important to define what is actually required, and you need to have a good process, a good method that can be adopted for defining your work, breaking it down to pieces, and then getting it incorporated into your backlog. So we will just focus a little bit on that. We will focus on how backlogs can be prioritized by the default capability that is there in SwiftEnterprise, and then we will focus on the work execution platform. So with that, I'm just moving on to the product. Nishant, I just wanted your confirmation. You're able to see the screen?
Yes, I can, Manu.
Yeah. Now, to define the backlog for the product, we provide a capability known as the story mapping capability, where you can take any use case, like here, say, for example, I have the use case of developing a business rules framework. You can take any use case and you will be able to construct a story map for that particular use case. Now, what this would basically help us to do is for this specific requirement, which is very important, you will be able to identify the themes that are applicable, and then you will be able to break it down to epics that are applicable for this specific theme. And the way you will be able to break up the epics is you will be able to break up the epics based on the roles that are going to consume that particular service. Like, say, for example, if I want to build a rule definition epic, I know that in my systems I would have leadership and management who would want to avail that capability, and I also know that the end users, the people who are actually going to work on the system, they would also like to avail that capability. So you will be able to split up a theme to associated epics, and these epics can be mapped to the roles that are basically going to consume that particular functionality or that are going to consume that particular feature. Now the epics then can further be broken down to user stories, as you see over here. So you can break them down to user stories, you can break them down to technical stories. So you will see that the rule management epic is having a series of user stories and technical stories that has been defined, and the rule configuration epic is also having its own associated user stories and technical stories that are associated with it. So this is a visual, it's a very easy, simple to use visual way in which you just need to click on a right, go to a lane, do a right click, and then you will be able to, you will quickly be able to see the card, you will be able to give a description and create it in the system and create links that would basically help you to relate a user story to an epic and an epic to a particular theme. This can be done by teams where they can, in a collaborative manner, they can discuss, they can break it down, and then get it to the lowest level of detailing. Now, there are some interesting capabilities that we provide over here. The whole framework that you see here is configurable. So you can go to settings, you can create your own columns, you can create your own number of columns that is required. You will be able to tag work item types to each of these levels. So here I've done a configuration saying that themes will go to level 1, epics will go to level 2, and so on and so forth. And you will also be able to see a representation where you will be, if you want to easily identify which who is the parent, you will be able to get a work breakdowns code which will basically show you that this theme is broken down to this epic and this user story belongs to this epic, and if you look at this specific user story, it belongs to this epic. So this is how you will be able to define your overall requirement, and you will be able to break it down to these smaller user stories and technical stories. Now, once you have done these definition, each of these user stories and each of these technical stories will go and form a part of the product backlog. So we have a module available where you will be able to capture all the user stories that you have defined for the project and all the technical stories that you have defined for the project. So the user stories and technical stories which you have associated and defined in the storyboard will get consolidated in the user story module, which is nothing but it is a composition of your backlog of your user stories, and it will also get consolidated in your technical story module. Now, once you have had the backlog that has been defined, wherein you have your themes, your epics, and your overall user stories, then to prioritize the user story, we provide a visual framework, which is what we call as a refinement framework. And if you go to the refinement framework, you basically will be able to get a lot of details which will then help you to prioritize your user stories. Like say for example, if I come to this visualization, you're able to see that at this point of time in this product team, the team has defined 399 user stories, of which 8 has been completed, 29 are in progress. And if you look at it, you will see that 342 user stories are still in the backlog. 15 of them are being groomed, which means that they are being detailed, and 5 of them are ready for future sprint allocation. Now, if I have to go and prioritize the user story, you will see that it is going to be difficult because I have a list of 342 user stories in my backlog. There are certain capabilities which we provide, which will basically help you to trim down this listing based on what is important for you. Like say, for example, at any point of time, if the team decides that we need to focus on in the next upcoming sprints, we need to focus on user stories that are related to UI and UX, and we need to focus on specifically the dashboard part, then when you click on that, it will show you that you have a total of 8 user stories, of which 4 are in progress and only 4 are in the backlog. So what we are saying is based on certain filters and grouping capability, which we provide over here, you can search for user stories, or you can apply these filters and say that what is the area in which we need to focus on, and then based on that, you will the listing over here will trim down, and then you can go and choose those specific user stories that you want to prioritize. And then once you have selected those user stories, you will just move it to the grooming queue. So the grooming queue is a queue where the technical team and the business analyst will come pick up the user story and detail it further to an extent where it will be useful for the development team to pick up those user stories and start working on it. But we also do provide certain views over here, like say, for example, if you look at this visualization over here, so I have an attribute for user stories known as story type, and these are the values, new features, feature enhancements, and so on and so forth. These are the values for those user stories. These are the values for this attribute. And you will be able to see that at this point of time, a lot of work has happened on the feature enhancement type of story. No work has happened on customizations, no work has happened on functional effect. So this is an insight which will enable teams to decide what they need to focus on. Or let us say if the modules of your product is important for you, you will see that a lot of work is happening on the agile module, a lot of work is happening on the eForm framework, and a lot of work is happening on the integrations module, whereas work on the other modules have not started. So this then will help you to pick up a module and then further start prioritizing user stories within that module. So those are some of the visual paradigms that is being provided, which will basically help teams to really understand what they need to prioritize and start working on. Now, once the stories has been selected for prioritization, then the next step would be where you will go and detail the story. So you will see that, okay, 15 user stories has been prioritized, 9 ad hoc work items has been prioritized, 7 bugs has been prioritized for fixing, and 9 technical stories has been prioritized. So now once you see this listing, you can further choose. You have a lot of filters available over here. You can choose a filter, trim down your list, and then you can go to that specific user story which you want to detail. So you can open up the form. The form again, which you see here, is configurable. You can detail the user story. You can provide the images that are associated with the user story. You can define the acceptance criteria, the test cases, and so on and so forth. So all the details that is associated with the story can be provided. And once the story has been detailed to the extent it has to be detailed, it can then be moved to the sprint planning queue. So when you go to the sprint planning queue, you will get a visualization which will basically show you the sprints that are active, that are actively defined. So you can run your sprints sequentially, you can run your sprints parallelly. Like if you have a product team, you have a release, and you have 4 teams working on a particular release, you can define sprints for each team and then choose a team. You will be able to see that this team's capacity is fully booked, and if capacity was available, you will be able to choose the user stories that has been detailed and just do a drag and drop mechanism wherein which you will be able to build up the scope for the sprint. So we give you a visual way in which you can drag and drop and build up the scope for the overall sprint. Now, once the scope for the sprint has been defined, then the actual execution, so this is where I'm coming to the third part of the demo, the actual execution happens on a visual Kanban board. And this is where we have been able to support agility to teams. Teams will get a very simple board which is mapping to the process which the team is following, and they can basically use this board to execute all the user stories that are pertaining to the sprints on which they have been assigned. So there are just a couple of paradigms that capabilities that I would like to highlight in this visual board. The first one is the teams can define their own value stream. As you can see, the process that has been laid out over here, this process or this value stream which has been defined is configurable, and it is configurable at a team level, it is configurable at a project level. So the team can decide on the process that needs to be followed to work on a user story or to work on a work item. Like say, for example, here you will see that you have a functional analysis, then you have a development stage where you do coding, code review, and then you have a testing stage, and then you have a demo. And once the demo has been completed, the status of the user story would be done. So this process which you see here is configurable, and it can be very easily. You just need to go to the board configurator, and you will be able to set it up as per the team's requirement. The second aspect that I wanted to highlight is at any point of time, if the leadership or the scrum master comes to this board And if he wants to, yes, he's able to see which are the stories where work needs to be started, which are the stories which are under analysis, which are the stories where coding can be started. So he gets all this visualization over here. But say, for example, if he wants to filter, if he wants to go to something very specific, then he can apply the filters that we provide over here. Like say, for example, he wants to see that I want to take a look at all the cards that has been assigned to Mings. So he can just apply that filter, and you will get a set of all the cards that has where Mings is the owner, and you will see how much of them are in the story analysis stage and how much of them are in the development stage. Or say, for example, he wants to take a look and say that, okay, I want to see the status of my team A cards for sprint 2. So then what he will do is or let me just go and say that I want to see the status of team B instead of team A. Then you will be able to see how the board will change. It will show me all the cards that are pertaining to team B, and he will be able to talk to the team and then basically get some updates associated with that. Or if he wants to track some exceptions, I want to see all the cards that has been flagged for my attention. So then he can just apply, and he can just click on this flag button and just click on the apply, and he will be just give me a minute. I'll just choose over here, remove this one, and I'll just reapply the filter. I want to look at all the cards that has been flagged, and I'll just apply that filter. So he'll see that there are 2 cards that has been flagged, and that have been flagged for his attention. The first card is related to notification. He can drill down, get into the details, and try to understand why that particular specific card was flagged. So these are some visual easy filters and mechanisms that is being provided so that teams and the leadership can come to this board, and they will be able to look at the status and filter and try to get the required details the way they would want it. We also do have certain capabilities, like say, for example, if you look at this card over here, you will be able to see the indicators. We do provide visual indicators that will say that you have an attachment, you have a comment, someone has voted for this card, and you'll see that why this card was flagged, the reason for that flagging, you'll be able to see it over here. And so the details that are pertaining to the card can be seen if you go to the detail zoom. And then if you look at the specific card, it shows you that it has been 23% complete. So I can click on that percentage completion link, and I will be able to see that there are there are some subtasks that has been defined, assigned to people, and certain subtasks has been completed, certain subtasks are still on work on progress, and based on the completion, you will be able to see the percentage work completion. So all the information that is required for a purpose of monitoring and tracking the progress is available on this visual board. We also provide the capability, like say, for example, if I as a user, I'm working on this particular card, but I want to know why should I work on this card? What is this card trying to provide? If I now click on this link, you will be able to see that the developer or the engineer who's working on that card will very easily be able to see that that card belongs to an epic, and that epic belongs to the team. So you're basically contributing to this team or this objective, which has basically been defined by the organization. So you are able to promote a top-down visibility of work, and you're also able to promote a bottom-up visibility of work by using some of these visual paradigms. And then finally, one important aspect when multiple teams are involved in working on a project is how do I set up dependency links, and how do I see dependencies? So you will easily be able to set up dependency links. You will be able to see which links are in danger of delay and which links are going on well, and then you can also see specific links that is required. You can see a network of links and so on and so forth. So this will basically help when you're having your team meetings. It will basically help you to understand which cards are important, which cards are having an impact on other cards, which card needs to be prioritized in my daily flow, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the interesting capabilities which we offer on our board, which can basically be used by teams to track their work effectively. We do have capability. We do have. Just give me a minute. We do have capabilities where, like say for example, you will also be able to perform some of the some of the key ceremonies of an agile project. Like say for example, we have a capability known as Standup Wizard. It is a wizard which will help you to conduct a stand-up meeting. So you can at any point of time choose a team, and then you will be able to see the cards which the team are working on. You can move to the team members. You will be able to see the cards which each team member is working on, and you can get a quick feedback and update from the team members, and then move on with your stand-up meeting. And then at the end of the stand-up meeting, you will be able to see the overall pipeline of work. Are you on track? Should we reprioritize some of the assignments? That can be discussed, and then you can look at the actual progression of work. So if you look over here, you are able to see the burn down chart, but it also gives you an indication that if you're continuing at this pace, you're likely to have a spillover of 46 hours. So this insight is being provided right from day one, as teams are working on on sprints and on the work item that has been assigned to them. And this will basically help you to take corrective actions at the right time and ensure that you are able to you are in a state where you are able to deliver what has been committed to the customers. The final part of the demo that I just would like to mention, since we are running short of time, is for the purpose of continuously monitoring and tracking the progression of the project. We do provide a series of dashboards widgets, so you will be able to see the status of current sprint in terms of work items that has been taken into that sprint. You'll be able to see the burn down charts. You'll be able to see status of defects that has been reported. Let me just take you to another dashboard. So you'll be able to see what is my release velocity trend over a period of time. Am I delivering less or am I delivering more? What is my sprint velocity time? So I can take the velocity of a particular team who has worked on multiple sprints and see that over a period of time, have they been increasing or have they been decreasing, and then try to interfere and make sure that the right kind of inputs and help is being provided to the team. So all your burn down charts, your sprint velocity charts, so these are your value versus non-value add delivery trend. Like say for example, in a sprint, you will be working on user stories, you will be working on defects, you will be working on ad hoc items. Some of these items can be marked as value added items, some of these can be marked as non-value added items, and you will be able to see over a period of time in your sprints, are you delivering more value to your customers or are you delivering more non-value items to your customers? And if you are delivering more non-value items to your customers, then there is something that needs to be improved within your process. So all of these insights can be seen as the teams are working and as the sprints are progressing and as the releases are progressing. So that is a quick overview on the SwiftEnterprise platform from a road mapping perspective, from a visual planning and prioritization perspective, and from a collaborative work execution perspective. We do have 5 to 10 minutes left with us, so I would like to open the floor for questions. But like I mentioned to you before, we do have a lot more capabilities that is available in the system, the ability to create portfolio lanes, program lanes, and then link them across project boards. So there are a lot of such capabilities that is available in the system, which we will be focusing on and demonstrating in our subsequent demos. So I'll just open the floor for questions.
Thanks, Manu. Thanks for a great demo. So folks, if you have any questions, please let us know via the chat box. Manu, I'll take some that have come in through registration while we give folks the time. Is SwiftEnterprise available on the cloud?
Yeah, SwiftEnterprise is available on the cloud. It is hosted with our cloud partner is AWS, and it is available on AWS. It is we also support on-premise implementation. But what we have seen, the trend which we have seen in the last 4 to 5 years is more than 90% of our customers who sign up with us, they go in for the cloud-based deployment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good to know. Manu, you showed quite a bit of capability, around managing different kinds of projects. Can this tool be used out of the box?
Yeah, the tool can be used out of the box. The Agile offering comes with out of the box templates. So you have ready-made templates for themes, epics. You have a ready-made board available. The prioritization template is readily available. So there are a good set of templates that are available out of the box, including dashboards and reports. That is the critical dashboards and reports that is required to track and monitor your Scrum teams is available out of the box. So you can use the system out of the box, but I am sure some level of configurability is required so that the tool can align to the customer's product or customer service offering. That can be very easily done and onboarded within the system.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I mean, given the diverse environments that people find themselves in, right, and the myriad number of tools and configurations, is there any integration capability?
The platform supports web services and it exposes REST and SOAP APIs, which can be used for integrating with external systems. We, in most of our implementations, have integrated with couple of tools that is being used within the customer ecosystem. It could be an ERP, it could be an engineering tool, it could be a DevOps framework, and so on and so forth. So the platform has the ability, APIs are available, and it has the ability to integrate with external systems.
Okay. So, folks, I'll just quickly show you how you can get in touch with us. And, feel free. I know there's quite a few topics that Manu covered. You could reach out to us if you have any further questions. Just would like to point out that this is a series of webinars, and SwiftEnterprise can pretty much manage any kind of work. Right? And Mano, I know, touched upon many things, but very briefly, we'll probably take you through what our customers are actually doing, right from requirements, test case management, software development, and also some of our agile program management capability. Right, something that I think a lot of companies are going through with the enforced transformation in the last 1.5 years. So stay tuned. Right, there's a lot more to come. We will keep you informed of our next set of sessions, and stay in touch. If you want us to cover anything specific, let us know. You can contact us at these email IDs that we've put up right now. You can visit us our website, www.digiday.com. Yeah, that's about it from us. Manu, any final words for today?
No, thank you. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your participation. If you want to try out the tool, if you want any specific demos for your team, please do reach out to us. And also, we would welcome you to all our future webinars. Nishant and team will be sending you those invites well in advance, and we look forward to meeting all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, Manu. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. See you in a couple of weeks.